photograph surfaced this morning that, if authentic, represents the most dangerous diplomatic pivot in decades. The image shows Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in what appears to be a private meeting with North Korean Supreme Leader Kim Jong-un, their hands clasped in a handshake that could reshape global warfare forever. And if this image isn't real, well, that makes it even more terrifying, because someone wanted us to see this badly enough to create it. In a forgotten Simpsons episode from 2003, Moe's Tavern briefly transforms into an underground arms bazaar where cartoon versions of world leaders trade mysterious briefcases. The scene lasted 12 seconds. 12 seconds that now feel prophetic. The timing couldn't be more volatile. Israel faces unprecedented pressure on multiple fronts: Gaza, Lebanon, Iran's nuclear ambitions, and dwindling international support. Meanwhile, North Korea sits on the world's fourth-largest military, nuclear capabilities that grow more sophisticated each month, and a leadership structure that thrives on unpredictability. What could possibly bring these two isolated powers together? The answer isn't friendship. It's desperation. But here's where things get uncomfortable. Both Netanyahu and Kim Jong-un are masters of political survival through crisis escalation. When domestic pressure mounts, they create external threats. When international isolation tightens, they forge impossible alliances. This meeting, real or fabricated, represents something far more dangerous than diplomacy. It's a signal. Let's pretend for our own sanity that this is just a deepfake. But deepfakes require motivation, funding, and technical expertise that narrows the suspect list considerably. Who benefits from the world believing Israel and North Korea are coordinating? Who profits from the chaos this image creates? The answer isn't comforting. Netanyahu's political calculus has always been brutally simple: survival through strength projection. His domestic coalition hangs by threads, corruption charges loom, and Israeli public opinion shifts daily. A secret alliance with an unpredictable nuclear power offers something traditional allies cannot: plausible deniability for actions that cross international red lines. If Israeli forces deploy weapons or tactics that spark global condemnation, blame can be diffused. We didn't know North Korean components were integrated into those systems.
For Kim Jong-un, this represents the ultimate diplomatic breakthrough. North Korea's isolation has created technological stagnation and economic desperation, masked by propaganda. Israeli military technology, cybersecurity systems, missile defense capabilities, intelligence-gathering tools represents decades of advancement compressed into transferable packages. More importantly, an Israeli partnership provides legitimacy. If the West's closest Middle Eastern ally works with North Korea, how isolated can Pyongyang really be? The economic implications cascade beyond defense contracts. North Korea controls rare earth mineral deposits essential for semiconductor manufacturing. Israel's tech sector, already strained by global supply chain vulnerabilities, would gain access to materials China currently dominates. Meanwhile, North Korean cryptocurrency operations, money laundering networks, and sanctions evasion expertise could provide Israel alternative financial channels if Western banking relationships deteriorate. This isn't just about weapons deals anymore. It's about economic survival through technological symbiosis. But this photograph suggests something darker than resource sharing. It hints at operational coordination. I wish I was making this up, but satellite imagery from the past 3 months shows unusual activity at North Korean weapons facilities coinciding with gaps in Israeli military transparency reporting. Ships with modified transponders have moved between ports in both regions. Financial intelligence sources report cryptocurrency transactions worth hundreds of millions flowing through shell companies registered in jurisdictions both countries frequent. The digital breadcrumbs are there for anyone willing to connect them. In that same prophetic Simpsons episode, Springfield's nuclear plant briefly powers a mysterious underground facility where cartoon military officials study maps marked with red zones. The scene cuts away before revealing the locations,
But the timing, the secrecy, the handshakes in shadowed rooms, it all feels uncomfortably familiar now. Homer's brief appearance as a security guard in that facility suddenly seems less random and more like a warning about how easily critical infrastructure can be compromised by the wrong people in the right places. The technological collaboration possibilities are genuinely terrifying. North Korea's cyber warfare capabilities, combined with Israeli surveillance technology, could create monitoring systems that make current privacy violations look quaint. Imagine facial recognition software trained on North Korean population control methods deployed globally through Israeli tech partnerships. Picture North Korean missile guidance systems enhanced with Israeli precision technology. Consider cyber weapons designed in Pyongyang but launched through infrastructure managed from Tel Aviv.
And here's the part nobody wants to discuss. Both leaders face potential prosecution if they lose power. Netanyahu confronts corruption charges that could end his career in freedom. Kim Jong-un rules a system where leadership transitions historically involve execution. Mutual dependency through illegal cooperation creates insurance policies. If I fall, I take you with me, becomes, if you protect me, I protect you. The intelligence implications alone should keep every Western security agency awake at night. Israel's human intelligence networks span decades of Middle Eastern penetration. North Korea's cyber warfare capabilities have demonstrated they can disrupt financial systems, power grids, and communication networks globally. Combined operations could target any adversary from multiple vectors simultaneously. Traditional deterrence strategies assume predictable alliance structures. This partnership shatters those assumptions completely. Now here's where things get uncomfortable. What if this meeting wasn't about forming an alliance? What if it was about preventing one? Intelligence agencies create fake photographs to justify preemptive actions all the time. A fabricated image of Israeli-North Korean cooperation provides perfect justification for sanctions, military intervention, or regime change operations against either country. The photograph becomes the crime, not the meeting. Consider the weapons technology transfer possibilities that have defense analysts genuinely panicked. Israeli Iron Dome systems produced using North Korean rare earth minerals and manufacturing capabilities could flood global markets with advanced defensive weapons. Countries currently dependent on American or Russian defense systems suddenly gain access to alternatives that operate outside traditional arms control frameworks. Regional power balances shift overnight when smaller nations acquire defensive capabilities that neutralize superpower military advantages. But let's examine the alternative scenarios, because each one leads somewhere dark. Scenario 1. The meeting is real, focused on weapons technology transfer. Israeli missile defense systems combined with North Korean mass production capabilities could flood global black markets with advanced weapons. Regional conflicts worldwide suddenly escalate beyond current containment strategies. Traditional arms control treaties become meaningless when two isolated powers coordinate outside existing frameworks. South Korean intelligence has already reported unusual electromagnetic signatures near the DMZ that match Israeli radar system specifications. Scenario 2. The meeting is real, but focused on intelligence sharing. North Korean human intelligence networks span decades of infiltration into enemy governments. Israeli technical intelligence capabilities include some of the world's most sophisticated surveillance tools. Combined operations could penetrate virtually any target globally. Think of it as Mossad operational planning implemented through North Korean sleeper networks. Chinese state security has reportedly increased counterintelligence operations in response to new infiltration patterns that match this collaboration model. Scenario 3. The meeting is fake, created by a third party to justify actions against both countries. China benefits from Israeli-American relationship deterioration. Russia profits from North Korean-Chinese alliance disruption. Iran gains from any Israeli destabilization. The photograph becomes a weapon deployed by whoever stands to gain from regional chaos. European intelligence sources suggest the image metadata contains digital fingerprints consistent with Russian disinformation operations.
In another deleted Simpsons scene from 2004, Chief Wiggum accidentally arrests international diplomats at a Springfield hotel, leading to a brief montage of world leaders frantically burning documents while cartoon helicopters circle overhead. The episode aired 2 years before the first reports of secret diplomatic channels operating outside official state visit protocols. The writers claimed pure coincidence. But that same episode featured background characters wearing military uniforms with symbols that intelligence analysts now recognize as early North Korean Special Forces insignia. The financial warfare implications deserve special attention because they represent the most immediate global threat. North Korean cryptocurrency operations have demonstrated they can manipulate digital currencies worth billions while maintaining plausible deniability. Israeli fintech companies control payment processing systems used by millions globally. Combined operations could crash entire economic sectors through coordinated cyber attacks that appear random but follow strategic patterns designed to benefit specific markets or currencies. Consider how this partnership could exploit existing sanctions regimes. North Korea has perfected sanctions evasion through shell companies, cryptocurrency laundering, and trade route manipulation. Israel operates within Western economic systems but faces increasing international pressure over settlement expansion and military operations. Together, they could create financial networks that operate outside traditional banking systems while maintaining access to global markets through legitimate Israeli business relationships. The space technology collaboration angle has barely received attention, but it should terrify anyone who understands orbital warfare capabilities. North Korea's satellite program has advanced rapidly despite international restrictions. Israeli aerospace technology leads global markets in miniaturization and precision guidance systems. Combined development could produce surveillance satellites with capabilities that exceed anything currently deployed by major powers. Imagine North Korean satellites equipped with Israeli imaging technology providing real-time intelligence that neither country could obtain independently. Here's what I think will actually happen, and I hope I'm wrong. If this meeting occurred, both leaders have already triggered contingency plans. Israeli military operations will escalate beyond current Gaza and Lebanon engagements using new capabilities that provide plausible deniability for war crimes. North Korean weapons testing will resume with improved accuracy that demonstrates Israeli technical integration without official acknowledgement. Both countries will deny everything while implementing everything. The next 6 months will feature coincidental military advances in both regions that share suspiciously similar technological signatures. If the photograph is fabricated, expect preemptive strikes against facilities in both countries within weeks. The image provides perfect justification for defensive actions that were planned months ago. Intelligence agencies will release additional evidence of the partnership, building public support for military intervention that serves entirely different strategic objectives. American military contractors are already positioning assets in regions that suggest preparation for operations against both Israeli and North Korean targets.
Either way, this image represents the moment global stability shifted. Not because of what Netanyahu and Kim Jong-un discussed in that room, but because someone decided the world needed to see them together. Real or fake, the photograph has already accomplished its purpose. Markets have reacted, intelligence agencies have mobilized, and military planners have updated threat assessments to account for collaboration scenarios they previously considered impossible. The semiconductor supply chain implications alone could reshape global technology dependence patterns. North Korea controls lithium deposits, essential for advanced battery technology. Israel dominates cybersecurity software that protects financial institutions worldwide. Combined control over both physical materials and digital security infrastructure could give this partnership leverage over every major economy simultaneously. But here's what bothers me most about this entire situation: the timing of the leak. This image surfaced exactly 48 hours after semiconductor supply chain vulnerabilities caused market fluctuations worth billions. Exactly 1 week after North Korean cryptocurrency operations reportedly penetrated new financial institutions.
exactly 2 weeks after Israeli military contractors missed delivery deadlines for allied nations' defense systems. Exactly 1 month after the first reports of unusual electromagnetic signatures detected near both countries' most sensitive military facilities. If this is a coincidence, it's a very loud one. The psychological warfare component cannot be ignored either. Both Netanyahu and Kim Jong-un understand that perception shapes reality in international relations. The mere possibility of their cooperation forces adversaries to allocate resources defending against threats that might not exist, while ignoring threats that definitely do exist. Russian military planners now must consider Israeli-North Korean coordination in their strategic calculations. Chinese intelligence agencies must investigate partnership possibilities that divert attention from actual Israeli operations. American defense contractors must develop countermeasures for weapon systems that combine Israeli precision with North Korean unpredictability.
In a third Simpsons scene that never made it to broadcast, Bart discovers a secret room beneath Springfield Elementary where cartoon versions of world leaders practice handshakes while studying maps covered with nuclear symbols. The scene was cut because censors deemed it, quote, too realistic for children's programming. That decision was made in 2005, 3 years before the first confirmed reports of underground diplomatic facilities operating in neutral countries specifically designed for meetings between adversarial powers. So what do you think? Is this alliance real, or is someone trying to send a message to both countries? If you had to guess, who benefits most from Israel and North Korea appearing to coordinate? Do you think this is Netanyahu's desperation move, Kim Jong-un's diplomatic breakthrough, or someone else's manipulation of global perception? What worries you more? The possibility that they're actually working together, or the possibility that someone wants us to believe they are? And what do you think the Simpsons were trying to warn us about in those oddly specific deleted scenes that keep surfacing at exactly the right moments? Because I just received confirmation that another photograph has surfaced. This one shows the same room, same table, but 3 additional figures whose faces are obscured by shadows. One appears to be holding documents marked with symbols that intelligence analysts are calling unprecedented in diplomatic photography. Another figure wears military insignia that doesn't match any known country's uniform specifications. The third holds what appears to be a briefcase with electronic displays showing real-time financial data from major global markets. That photograph hasn't been released yet, but someone wanted me to know it exists, which means someone wants all of us to know what's coming next. And based on the market movements that started exactly 12 minutes after I received that confirmation, I'm not the only one who's been given advance warning.